Hi, dear Army friends, how are you? Nothing could prepare the world for that night. None of Army was really prepared to hear what came out of the mouth of a BTS Jungkook when he turned on his live camera that night. Not just a regular broadcast, not even an impromptu singing session or a casual chat full of heart emojis and laughter. That night was different, very different. Jungkook didn't smile as much as usual. He does not joke, does not flirt, does not play the guitar. It just sits. Shut up. And when he opened his mouth, the world that heard him seemed to stop breathing. Sorry if I made you worry, but I guess I have to be honest tonight, Jungkook said, his voice sounding quieter than usual. But that's precisely why his words felt deeper. No background music, no funny face filters, only Jungkook. Original, what it is, without a mask. And then, one sentence he uttered broke thousands of Army hearts around the world. I was afraid of losing my voice and losing everything. Army, which usually floods the comments section with purple heart spam and bunny emojis, was speechless that night. No, Jungkook, marry me. No baby bun. No hysterical screams. Just silence. The live stream lasted only 26 minutes, but the impact was like a devastating earthquake. Jungkook's words that night became a lightning bolt in the night sky that had been looking bright. And now, one big question is floating in the air. What's wrong with Jungkook's health? It didn't take long until the Korean media started sniffing for something bigger behind the brief statement. Jungkook is known to be secretive about his personal condition. He prefers to hide fatigue, pain, even his own tears, rather than make fans anxious. But that night, for the first time in a very long time, he let the castle fall. The words, "I was afraid of losing my voice," are not something that can be underestimated, let alone come out of a lead vocalist of a group as big as BTS. This is not a common cold, not a hoarse voice after the concert. This sounds much more serious. And when he called the word all, the whole army knew right away. This is more than just a sound. It's about being an idol. As a singer, as Jungkook, speculation began to spread. Is this a side effect of long tours? Does he have a vocal cord disorder like some of the other idols? Is this the real reason why he has been absent from some promotional activities lately? Why does Big Hit remain silent? And why did Jungkook choose to speak now? In the seconds that followed, the live stream turned into the most heartbreaking confession of a man known as the Golden Mean. Perfect, invincible, always strong, never weak. But that night, all those perfect images collapsed. One by one, Jungkook admitted that in recent months, he felt a significant change in his voice. I'm training as usual, but it feels different. I sing, but I feel not close, he said slowly, staring into the camera as if staring into the eyes of thousands of Army watching from behind the screen in no dramatic effect. But precisely because of its simplicity, the confession felt like a bullet. He talked about the frustration of being in the studio, but not being able to hit the notes that he would normally achieve easily. About vocal exercises that end with a dry throat and a dizzy head. About sleepless nights thinking about whether he still deserves to be on stage. And then came the most astounding confession. Jungkook said he was advised by his doctor to take a break from singing for a few months. They said, "I need to stop before everything is completely broken." But how do I stop? It's not just a job. This is my life, he said with a bitter smile. That night, millions of Army watched how a world superstar admitted that he was afraid. Not afraid of losing fame, but he was afraid of losing the part of himself he loved most, his ability to sing. He even said that he had thought about whether he still deserves to be called a singer if he can't sing with all his heart. Emotions peaked as Jungkook, in his choked voice, said, "I know I always said I was strong. But sometimes I'm tired too. Sometimes I'm scared too. But I don't want you to be afraid either. So I'm just saying, I'm going to keep fighting. Because you deserve the best, Jungkook." The live stream then ended with one sentence that made the entire fandom cry in unison. "Don't leave me, huh?" After that, the world is on fire. Twitter was filled with the hashtags #WeLoveYouJungkook, #StayStrongJungkook, and #GoldenVoiceForever. On Weverse, armies from around the world wrote long letters filled with prayers, hopes, and tears. On YouTube, The livestream video was reposted by hundreds of accounts, complete with subtitles in multiple languages. Even the big Korean and international fan sites who usually only post glamorous fan cams turn their feeds into a cry of solidarity for the beloved vocalist. But what makes all this even more disturbing is the fact that until now, Big Hit has not issued an official statement. There is no clarification, no medical news. There is no confirmation whether Jungkook is actually experiencing serious damage to his vocal cords. All that appears is silence. And in the Korean entertainment world, this kind of silence is often not a good sign. Many of the ARMY began to trace Jungkook's previous appearances. There are those who compare his voice during last year's concert and the last concert. Some rewound the fan cams from 2021 to 2025 to find out. Since when has Jungkook's voice changed? Has this actually been going on for a long time but hidden? Or is there a moment when he has really shown his signs, and yet we are all too busy praising to forget that even humans can collapse? Then came another theory. Some fans speculated that the pressure of being a soloist and a member of BTS at once, plus the world's high expectations of him, made Jungkook experience physical and mental burnout. Especially after his successful debut solo album, many people pressed for him to continue to produce work, continue to perform, continue to give. But no one asked, is Jungkook okay? Now, after all that he revealed that night, it is only then that the world realizes Jungkook is not a machine. He is not a perfect robot who can keep singing endlessly. He is a man with limits. That limit has now been reached. However, precisely from that most fragile point, he showed his greatest strength, the courage to be honest. What happens after that will probably be a turning point in Jungkook's career. Is he going to rest for a while? Will Big Hit release a vocal recovery schedule? Will this affect BTS's next comeback? Everything remains a mystery. But one thing is certain. That night, Jungkook not only touched the hearts of his fans, he shook the world. Because when a Jungkook says, "I'm afraid of losing my voice," the world knows that it's not just about vocals. It's about identity, about courage, and about love that can't be measured in words. And to this day, armies around the world are still wondering, what really happened to Jungkook?